Danny, what are we doing next?
I'm just writing questions for Robbie Coltrane and Sir Michael Gambon. So this is heavyweight stuff. I've got to concentrate for a bit here, Dread.
Yeah, okay. Oh, could you ask a question for me? I just want to ask them what it is like to wear a T-shirt.
You think I'm going to ask Sir Michael Gambon and Robbie Coltrane what it's like to wear a T-shirt? It's ridiculous. I mean, laughing stock.
All right, a suit then.
Yeah, it's not bad, actually.
Oh.
What's it like to wear a suit? Michael, were you a Harry Potter fan before you got this role? How much did you know of the Potter phenomenon?
Not a lot. I'd seen the films, and I haven't read the other two books. Read the third one, but I like them very much. Yeah.
And obviously with you know, you taking Richard's place in there, I wondered how you sort of approached this role then.
I just did my own thing, you know. I mean, I do it with a slight Irish accent, which I think just seems to be right. I don't know why. It's just when I got on the set the first day, Alfonso, I said, I'll just do it. And he said, he came out and said, what's that accent you're doing? And I said, well, it's a bit of Irish, you know, because I am Irish and I feel sort of Irish, and this long beard and the long wig. So he said, all right, leave it in. No one's ever mentioned it since.
And it is kind of, the part of Dumbledore is a sort of, a kind of a classic role, isn't it? I mean, I know you've compared it, I think, to King Lear, I read.
Yeah, well, you feel a bit like King Lear, dressed like that, and then he's all-knowing and all-powerful, isn't he? He's a bit nicer than King Lear. King Lear was a bit miserable, isn't he?
Absolutely.
No, he wasn't.
He's not very happy.
And not very good at relationships.
No.
No, really dysfunctional
He doesn't like
relationships.
his children, right?
No, he wasn't good with kids, was he?
No.
No.
Robbie, you are barely over 6 feet tall. In the movie, you're obviously huge.
8'6".
8'6". So what do they, I mean, without giving away too many secrets, how do they beef that up then?
Well, it's mainly done with very clever camera angles. And there are one or two other tricks which I can't possibly discuss.
But at any time, have you got tall shoes to take you up to an enormous height?
Oh, yeah. And
So what's the
boxes
biggest
and
height you
things.
actually physically get to?
8'6".
And how does life feel when you're walking around 8'6"?
Very perilous. Because you've got all this hair like that, and you can't really see your feet, of course.
OK, but quite inconvenient life at that height.
Very inconvenient, and the costume's very heavy. The costume weighs about 90 pounds, something like that.
And not only does the costume weigh 90 pounds, but it's made of, what's it made? It's made of...
What do you used to call it? Moleskin, isn't it?
Moleskin, yeah.
Yeah, very thick and very hot.
And you had to wear this, didn't you, on the hottest day?
It was 100 degrees in the forest. But I have a cool suit, you see.
Really?
Which is, yes, it's a vest, but it's got miles and miles of plastic tubing in it.
Like a refrigerator.
Very like a refrigerator. And then there's a box with ice cubes and cold water in it, and a tiny wee pump off a windscreen wiper of a car, you know.
This is my question.
Yes, I know it's your question, but just let them answer it. Robbie, sorry, your
You
suit.
can't go into, of course, they dyed the vest pink just to make me look like a complete silly fellow, and they do. They pump the water around, and it's extraordinary because you know how woozy you get when you're really hot and your concentration goes, and then suddenly it's this shock of freezing cold water circling around. It's wonderful.
Michael, how excited were the young children in your life that you were in Harry Potter?
Oh, well, every boy, girl I meet asks me about being Dumbledore, so I do my best to tell them stories about it.
Your young relatives, is it? I mean, there must be a massive difference between that and sort of work you've done, say, during the theatre and things, which I would think they wouldn't particularly want to talk about.
They wouldn't want to talk about Samuel Beckett's Endgame, would they? It wouldn't appeal to the 8-year-olds.
Tell us another story about it, Grandpa. Please tell us about Samuel Beckett.
Tell us about existential alienation.
You're really watching the kind of the kids involved in this film grow up. Is that a strange experience?
Well, no, not strange. Just very interesting, really. Particularly this film, they're much more confident as actors, but they're much more confident as people because they are, you know, they are young teenagers now. And one thing that came across, particularly in this film, is there is a sense of fun between them because they've known each other for years and they get on well. So there's a good knockabout feeling between them, which means that when you do get a bit of light relief from the horrible things peering in the windows and trying to disembowel you, it's a genuine relief, which I don't think they could have done when they were younger, to be honest.
And I suppose they're more used to the acting now, aren't they? After 3 years.
Exactly. But I mean, they put more time in than probably any of us, don't they?
Yeah.
In terms of hours. And when they're not acting, they're doing their school studies. So it's a long haul for them.
They're there all the time.
Their concentration's astonishing. If any one of those had been the wrong person, and I mean not just the wrong person at the start, but had developed into the wrong person. In fact, we had this gag that we were going to stick a phony moustache on Daniel and get him to turn up with a cigarette holder and a couple of babes in a fur coat and say, my trailer is too small, love. I'm going back to it until, you know...
the nightmare child
The nightmare child scenario, yeah.
OK, Head, go on. I know you got a question. Crack away, go on.
Okay, great. Robbie, I think Hagrid uses the same hairdresser as I use. Do you think I need a new hairstyle?
I think you might have one or two split ends there, matey. But no, I think it's very you. It's very you.
Ah, great. All right. I'll keep it like this.
Go on. You got a question for Michael?
Hello.
Michael. Hello, Sir Michael.
Hello.
You guys are all classically trained actors. Could you get me a role as that skull in Hamlet?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea because you'd be great as a skull.
A chatty Yorick.
Whoever played Hamlet, we're lucky to have holding him.
Lovely. Well, fair enough. Next question. Michael again. I felt like scratching my knee for the last 6 years now. So, for the next movie, could you get Professor Dumbledore to cast a spell to get me a body?
Yeah, I think that could be done.
What sort of body would you create from
long,
them?
thin, distorted.
Sounds like me.
You finished then, Head?
Yeah.
For now.
Do you know, it's a waste of time even asking you to do those questions. We learnt nothing. It's always about you. It's never actually anything interested in them.
Well, I've had a good teacher.
Pathetic. Thanks very much, fellas.
You're welcome.
So what have you heard about Harry Potter before you actually got involved in it? David, what have you heard?
I'd only read a bit of the first book, and I just knew about all the media furore of it, you know. But I'd not read books 2 or 3. I just read a bit of it, and I'd seen the films.
OK, so you've never read anything about your character? You didn't read the book that this is based on?
Not until I got the part, no. I have to admit, not until I got the part.
OK, what about you, Gary? What did you heard about Harry Potter? What was your
Much the
preconceptions?
same, really. I'd read the first book, and I got one up on Dave, you see. I'd finished the first book. And there were no pictures in it.
You kept reading
Yeah,
till you got to the
colouring,
pictures.
you know.
Yeah. Do either of you have kids yourselves?
Yes.
Yeah, I does, yeah. Not myself.
And are they into Harry Potter? Or
Yeah.
too young?
Yeah. Alf is 14, so...
So he's right in the age
He's,
there.
yeah, and the other two, Charlie's 4.5 and Gulliver's 6, so they've been here and they've got, you know, obviously it's an added thing that they like Harry Potter,
Yeah.
but their dad's in Harry Potter.
I know,
so-
are they more excited about that than sort of anything else you've done?
Yeah, I'm a hero at school.
Yeah.
Big noise at their school.
Suddenly you are really cool dad.
Yeah, yeah. Although
That's the best thing about it, I think, is knowing kids and kids getting absolutely mental when you're in it.
Yeah.
Any kid you meet, and anyone I know tells the kids you meet that you're in it, and they get short of breath.
But
They also get excited about the film.
when I told the Gulliver's 6, he went into his school and he ran up to his mate Omar, and he just said, "Guess what?" He said, "Guess what?" He said, "Guess who's in Harry Potter?" And Omar went, "Harry Potter?"
Yes.
So he's
Yes.
read the books.
He's read the books.
He's read the books. But in general, what kind of attracted you to doing the film?
For me, I was seen for the first film for Quirrell, which is why I read the first book.
Right.
And then when I saw it, and I know Ian Hart, who did play Quirrell, I know he had such a good time making it. And I really like kids' films. I really enjoy being part of them. And since this is like the biggest of them all, I just thought what fun it'd be. And then met everyone involved, and I'm a fan of Alfonso Cuarón. And it's, you know, and I'm not disappointed now here at the end of it. I've had a great time making it.
What about you, Gary? What did you like about particularly Sirius Black? Were you surprised to get a character with that kind of, well, with the sort of the dichotomy that Sirius Black has in like a children's book, to find a character with that kind of darkness?
Well,
like
it's
that?
great that you... I mean, I've played... you know,
You're no
my
stranger to
share of-
darkness, yeah.
No strangers to darkness.
To the dark, John, the dark.
dark side. And so it was great to be on, really to play a good guy. I mean, he is a good guy. So, I mean, we think he's a bad guy, but you know, so that was... So that I liked that dynamic, that twist, the sort of twist at the end.
Was there any sort of sense of being like new kids in a sort of established cast, almost new kids in a school, ironically?
Yeah, there's an element of that. It's kind of a welcome from everyone that's worked on it before. Because almost all the crew have worked on it before. Yeah, but it's such a friendly bunch of people.
It's been a great experience.
Yeah.
In that,
But did
in
you
that
feel that
respect.
sort of, did they gang up on you ever? Tease
No,
you?
no. funny enough, it was...
They never got in a circle around you and jabbed you and teased you? Stole things from you?
No, that
Sweets.
happens somewhere else,
Okay.
you know, before you get here.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's another place they do
your
that.
agent deals with that stuff. But, no, it's been a wonderful experience.
What about the kids? What was it like working with them? Did they behave all right?
Yeah, they're great. Daniel's a hell of a nice boy. He's a really great guy. And he's got me into some very good music.
Yeah, I've been listening to some... Yeah.
I was
quite
just still
passionate about it.
listening to the Beatles until I came here. You know.
Yeah.
But he's very passionate. But he's got great taste for a kid of his age.
He's very dedicated, serious about it, and focused. And
Because he's actually, I mean, he said he's a big fan of yours, particularly as an actor. I think you are his idol as an actor. Is it quite odd to sort of act with a kid when you know you're his hero? Is that sort of off-putting? You sort of think, I've got to be really good here because this kid...
Yeah, you think I've got to be good here.
Yeah, for the kids.
For the kids.
I'm doing it
I've
for
got
the
to do it for the
kids, John.
kids. I'm doing it for the kids.
A lot on the werewolf thing. You are quite lupine, genuinely.
Well, I am now, yeah. But I've put a lot of effort into that. But it was good to do. You can say at least once in your career you've done the whole werewolf transformation thing. But it wasn't really fun to do. It was well, no, because it's really uncomfortable to do. It was a terrible day when we were shooting, and you have these lenses and you can hardly see anything, and a light would be blinding to you. And we were on a very dark set, and I was led out, and it was the middle of summer, and they opened the big studio door, and the sunlight hit my eyes, and I had the teeth still in, and I actually was like, oh.
I am blinded!
He's taking a bit serious, isn't he? Yeah.
As you're in character as soon as you leave your trailer. Ah, the light!
Yeah.
OK, if David genuinely had an animagus, what do you think his animal would be?
I don't know. I think there's a real softness to David, like a deer or something. I could see him as a deer.
What about Gary? How would you apply to that now?
I'd say some kind of bird.
A woman?
Yeah, some kind of bird.
Your tea's on the table, Don.
Yes, an old woman.
If you want to interpret it like that.
Excuse me, sirs, before we go, I just wanted you to know I put both of you on my resume as my co-stars. So if anybody calls, could you just tell them you both learned a lot from me?
You should quit while you're ahead.
When Harry Potter fans encounter you in the street, do you get the feeling they hate you or love to hate you?
What do you find?
I don't get noticed in the streets.
Because you're so slim.
I have to say, you look more svelte
I know.
than the other films. What's happened?
Just lost weight, you know, just like
Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Was that a problem? Because, I mean, your character is implicitly meant to be chubby chap.
Yeah, well, I did wear a fat suit in the film, which got bigger every film. And that's how I got bigger, really.
Fiona, what sort of reactions do you get?
If children are being carried by their mothers and the mothers are walking ahead, the children often start crying if they see me. And the mother doesn't know why the child is crying.
Do you get fan mail, hate mail? How does it work?
I get fan mail, but it goes through Leaveston, so I don't get anyone to hate mail.
What sort of nice things do people say to you?
Well, some people say I like your other films you've done. And I was like, what other films? Because I ain't done Harry Potter.
So have you had anything nasty sent to you or any...
No, I get a lot of birthdays. People want things signed for their birthdays.
Do you know, it's moved brilliantly on to my next question, which was, I mean, how has your popularity soared amongst children, nephews, nieces?
Deep respect.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know how they feel.
What about you? What experience you've had with some of your younger rellies?
There's some that they just can't believe it. My father lives in Ireland, and cars go slowly past his house because they say that Harry Potter's grandfather lives in there. He's entirely
They've got it really wrong, haven't they?
by this existential fact.
Yeah. What about you? How has it sort of changed your life on every level?
It really, because I don't get noticed, it hasn't really changed my life a lot.
No, but I'm just saying, amongst your peers, though, there's that knowledge that you're... because of... Sorry. I mean, do you miss out on the fact that you're not with, like Daniel is, with a gang of kids?
Yeah,
and actually all your bits
Hogwarts.
are separate. You film with him a bit at the start, and you don't see all the others.
No, I really do want to go
us.
in Hogwarts. I want to go into Hogwarts.
We want to go to Hogwarts. We want to see what all this
Like
fuss
sports
is about.
day.
What about, like,
Well, I asked Joanne Rowling, you know.
Like Parents' Day? Or...
But yes, the Founders' Day.
Yeah.
We said, why can't the Dursleys go to the Hogwarts on Founders' Day and see Harry Potter in his school? And she said, I don't know why. But I said, so then they can go? She said, no. I think it would be a disaster.
Yes, jumping the shark. It's jumping the shark, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
OK, now, Pam, what were your feelings about joining what is some regard as one of the nation's most awful families?
Sheer terror, really.
Yeah.
Yes, sheer terror.
So no misgivings about it?
No, 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 not at all, no.
And yet you have to suffer kind of facial hair, fangs and not a good hair colour. How did you feel about that?
I loved it. I do love it, because the good bit is when you take it off at the end of the long working day and you look comparatively OK underneath and you think, I'm not so bad after all.
Yeah. Do you think that the Dursleys aren't caricaturing though?
No.
But you breed bulldogs and look like a bulldog in it. Not now.
do.
Not now you've
People-
got your special thing on.
Thank you. No, people do behave like this. I mean, frequently as actors, and I'm sure these other actors have experienced this, you'll see someone or meet someone and you'll say, if I put that on camera, no one would believe the extremity of it. These people aren't that extreme, really. It's just that we're looking at them through a particular lens.
But also, don't forget, there's been a progression through the films in the relationship. So that when you started out, Harry Potter was very much like Cinderella.
Yeah.
Then he went to Hogwarts and came back with some magic. And in the second movie, you then got this thing of him having powers and putting the family under pressure. And then in this third film, apart from the terrible things that happened to Aunt Marge, the whole house is, you know, shakes with fear because of what he might do.
Yeah.
As Harry Potter gets older, the Dursleys are more threatened. So they are turning from dominating him to being terrified of him. So the boot goes onto the other foot.
All your characters are obviously muggles, but if your characters could have one magical power, what do you think it would be?
I'm a very, very nosy, curious person, so I'd quite like to be able to be invisible occasionally and eavesdrop on various situations.
Yeah, and peek.
The royal family, for instance.
Yes.
That was a good one, actually.
That was a good one, wasn't it? The invisibility
trying
cloak
to-
seems to be a big favourite. Come on.
We'll go together.
I would like to be invisible too.
Yeah.
OK. Now, I know you've been quite quiet this time, so go on, you can have a good question here. Go on.
It's the Dursleys.
Oh, come on. They're not. They're the actors.
I'm really scared of
It's
them.
the actors.
They're real.
No, no, no. Head off. Thank you very much, Dursleys, for joining us here.
That's what it is to be all mouth and no trousers,
It
isn't
is.
it? Yeah.
Sit.